Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sasha. If it's your first time here, also known as Healing Honey. And you guys, I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but kind of just forgot about it. And then good old YouTube recommended some videos that set off some alarm bells in my head, and I was like, let me go ahead and talk about this. I want to share this with you guys because my perspective has really changed so much, especially in the last 5 years. And there's so many things that we go through together, but we go through it silently because it's shameful, it's uncomfortable to talk about, but these are the subjects we really have to bring into the light, spread some awareness on, some love, and of course healing. So if you're on this channel, that's what we're here to do. We're here to elevate and to grow. And so if you have any negativity, I suggest you take it somewhere else, because this channel is about raising our consciousness. And yeah, I mean, at the same time, you're entitled to feel how you feel. Your feelings are valid, but I just ask that you show respect and love if you do drop a comment. If anything I say triggers you or rubs you the wrong way, that's okay. But let's just speak to one another with respect and love. Let's talk about colorism. Does it exist? If you don't know what colorism is, it's about having a preference of someone's skin tone, thinking that lighter skin equals better, darker skin equals worse. And it's about having prejudice, and especially within the same community. Is it alive? Is it a thing? Is it still a thing in 2023? You know, and so what do you guys think? Do you guys think that colorism exists? I'm here to just share my perspective, you guys. Here's the thing about the world that we're living in. A lot of times people feel like we're stuck in stone. Like if society feels a certain way, if we've been conditioned a certain way due to our history, that we're stuck there. That, oh, well, that's just the way it is. Well, this is how people feel and it's never gonna change, but that's not true. We're conscious beings. We have the ability to think critically, and we can always shift the collective consciousness. Each one of us, the way that we feel and where we're vibrating, every single human on earth, collectively, we create society. Collectively, we are the ones that make up society. So any problems that we see in the world, we are in essence responsible for them, because we are the world. Like, we're making up society through what we think and what we feel. And that's why it's so important to know your power. Like, you're not powerless. You're not held by what society's beliefs are. You are society. So if you change your beliefs, that's how society's beliefs change. And so when we talk about colorism and we look at our history as people, of course it exists because of wars and power control, corruption, greed, basically control. People who want to be in power using weapons to force and hurt and traumatize. And so, of course, our history, those that won the wars made the rules. We've been separated due to race. And you guys, it's so interesting when you realize and research and find out that race is a concept that was created by humans. Like, do you honestly think that God, the creator of all things, cares what color you are? Like, colorism is very much created by people for power dynamics, to be like, these people are better than these. And so it's a belief that we subscribe to, but we do not have to, and we're not victims, you know? And so I feel like it's important to know this, because just 5 years ago, I was in this trap, this mentality of like, oh, I didn't feel represented in the media when I was growing up, and I was bullied and I was teased for my skin color and whatever else, right? And so I thought, okay, well, let me create a makeup brand, cater to Latina women, Black women, and just women who went through what I went through as far as like feeling underrepresented and not seeing images that look like them in media. When I was growing up, that was my experience. So I was like, let me bring it to the table instead of waiting for things to change. This was around the time Rihanna launched her brand. So it was before Fenty and all the millions of shades that we have out now. It's just like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And that's what I did, you know. And one of the reasons I stopped my makeup brand, and as I was having a spiritual awakening, I realized that, okay, you do not solve a problem by creating the same problem. So if I was upset that I wasn't feeling represented in the media, why would I then turn around and create a brand to purposely not represent an image as well? Like, you do not solve hate with hate. You know, like, you do not solve negativity with more negativity. Like, nothing gets solved that way, and it's trauma based. And so the answer is healing, and the answer is love, and the answer is raising our consciousness, rising above the pain, forgiveness, inclusiveness, you know. And I feel like that's why Brianna's brand became $1 billion brand. She didn't go into it being like, well, I'm only going to represent Black women or Caribbean women. Everybody needs to be represented, you know. And it's like, as people, we want to feel accepted. We even want praise, and we crave love. And so it's a natural thing. And so if people feel excluded, that is a problem. And if people feel discriminated against because of just how they look naturally, of how they were born, that's a problem. But it's not just a problem for dark-skinned people. Like, it's a problem across the board. So once again, like, we have to have a bigger perspective. It's not just, we can't be so selfish to think that just your personal experiences matter and everyone else's don't. You're a victim, and everybody else, well, their struggle is not as bad as yours. Like, that's when we fall into this trap of separation and division, and it just keeps us stuck. Like, there's no progression, there's no healing, there's no answers that way. Like, we're just like adding to the problem, staying stuck in that low vibration. But we can break free. So does colorism exist? Yes, it exists, but because we allow it to. And the only way that it will ever stop is when people realize that it's just pure ignorance. So it's not about just talking about, oh yeah, like, this is just the way it is and we're stuck there forever. Like, no. It starts with you. Like, if you subscribe to that belief, how is anything gonna ever change? And why do we compete to be the biggest victim? You guys, let me tell you a personal story. I was on Instagram and I came across this girl's profile, and she, you know, fair complexion, really long, wavy, curly, long blonde hair naturally. And her caption on one of her photos was talking about her experience and how she was discriminated against when she went on TV because they wanted to straighten her hair and she wanted to wear her natural curly hair, and talking about her struggle. Okay, this triggered me so bad because I was thinking in my head, you're trying to gain sympathy. You're trying to relate to Black women's struggles. What do you know about that? You can't, my struggle is more severe than yours, blah, 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 blah. And it was a full moon too. And you guys, I did so much shadow work. I'm so thankful every moment for like my spiritual journey and just gaining a better perspective. And I knew that I had some work to do on myself, because why was this triggering me? And why was I feeling all this rage and hate? Like, surface, it didn't feel good, you know? And anyways, so I was like writing out my feelings, just raw and real. Like, that's how you do shadow work. I'll link that video too. It's like, you got to keep it real with yourself and stop acting like a victim, please. Like, you're not a victim. Like, yes, it's unfair and unjust, some of the ways of the world, but it stems from ignorance. And so when you see that for what it is, we don't have to stay there. We don't have to agree with it. We can recognize that it stems from ignorance. So are we going to be ignorant too by agreeing with it, or even by accepting it? Like, we can actually change it. when we change our own perceptions of ourselves, when we crown ourselves and love ourselves and we say we are enough, when we don't wait for the TV to show an image that represents us, but we're teaching our children in our own homes that they are worthy and worth everything because they are of God. They're God's creation. So since God lives within you and God made you, you are enough. You're more than enough. You're a divine creation. You are brilliance in existence. Trillions of cells working every moment to keep you alive, can breathe, think, have a heart. You are not just your skin color. Like, that's a shade in the rainbow, red, blue, and yellow and green and purple. It does, white, black, it doesn't really matter. And so when I was doing the shadow work on these things, I realized, okay, it stems from my childhood, what I've been through, But what really freed me is to recognize, like, wow, Sash, what's really unfair. The main thing was just that I was invalidating her experience because I was trying to compare it to my own. And that's what I mean, like, by people, we're like competing. Who has it the hardest? Oh, it's men. We have to go out and work so hard, wake up at 5 a.m. to go feed the family. Oh, it's women. We have to hold the children and work and take care of the house. And so it's the women have it harder. No, men have it harder. Dark-skinned people have it harder because my hair is kinky. No, mixed people have it harder because we don't know if we're white, black, or in between. No, white people have it harder because they're being blamed from what their ancestors. We're all literally fighting on who has it harder. Oh, I have to pay more taxes because I make a lot of money. Well, you make a lot of money, so you have to pay more taxes. Well, I don't make enough money. Oh, well, you get a tax return. So, like, we are just like fighting over who's the biggest victim. It's something I've observed, and it's something that I try to be conscious of and aware of, mindful within myself of, like, you are not a victim, like, unless you choose to be. And a lot of people choose to be. This might trigger you. It triggered me a few times when I would hear people talk about it. I'd be like, you don't know my struggle. You don't know what I've been through. You ain't got it like me. Okay. You're a victim if you choose to stay there. Like, do bad things happen in the world? Of course. Can somebody, like, purposely hurt you, attack you? Yes. But, like, are you gonna be stuck there? Or are you going to release, let it go, choose love, choose peace? It's hard to do. A lot of times people look at spiritual people and they're like, oh, they're so naive. Oh my God, they're choosing peace. Like, they need to be strong and fight and war and toxic positivity. Like, do you know that it's harder to, it's harder to choose peace and love? It takes more strength for softness. Forgiveness is not easy, but it's necessary and it's healing and it feels good. And love cultivates more love, whereas hate cultivates more division. So we have choices to make, but I feel like a lot of people, especially with the internet and just the way of the world right now, like, we have so much access to information and we can connect in a way like never before and learn like never before. Whereas before, yeah, we were stuck to just whatever the TV or the newspaper showed us back in the day. But, like, now there's no excuse for ignorance, you know? And so there's a great awakening happening on the planet, and it's just divine order, it's divine timing, it's what's happening. We're ascending, we're growing, we're learning, we're healing, we're loving more. And so I just wanted to touch on this topic because I myself have gone through that, where I was just like getting stuck in hate and getting stuck in division and a lot of malice in the heart. But that traps you and it doesn't feel good. And you don't want to move from your ego and live that way, feeling like everyone's against you, everyone's out to get you, and people should feel sorry for you. No. Because the truth of the matter is that everybody is going through something. So maybe someone teased you about your hair, but somebody else got teased because of something else, or beat up, or there's just so many things. So it's like, we want to see the bigger picture to know that we don't want to stay stuck in a victim mentality. We can break free. I do want you to know that your feelings are valid, you know, because I know what it feels like to be teased just on how you look, made fun of And it doesn't feel good. Like I said, we want to be accepted and loved for who we are naturally, because that's who we are. That's how God made us. But you don't want to find your validation outside of yourself. You don't want to wait for someone or the world to tell you that you're good enough, that you're loved, that you're beautiful. You don't want to give somebody else that power over you. You have to take your power back. You know, a lot of things are done intentionally, whether people want to believe it or not. And if the TV excludes you, you know, if you're made to feel like you're not enough, it's done intentionally, not just you, everybody. So that we can be sold things, that our vibration can be down, so that we can be controlled and manipulated. So someone else can control how you feel, what you're gonna do, the choices you're gonna make. Now you're feeling angry, now you're feeling hurt. But where you feel empowered is when you say, I'm not gonna wait to see when society changes. Like, I'm gonna change and know that I'm enough, know that I am love, made of love, beautiful, capable. It doesn't matter if that job didn't hire me because of my skin color. I'm gonna create my own job. I'm gonna go where I'm accepted and uplifted. I'm not going to pout. I'm not gonna be down. I'm not gonna feel sorry for myself. I'm going to be the change that I wanna see in the world. I'm not gonna wait for the world to change. I'm gonna be the change that I want to see in the world. You know, and that's how the reality shifts. And check your own heart, like I had to. Like, ask yourself if you are moving from a negative place. Like, do you judge people harshly if they have a darker skin tone? Because I've seen it my whole life. On the Mexican side of my family and on the Black side, a lot of self-hate, because we're programmed to not feel like we're good enough. We're traumatized over and over in school, reliving history that we had nothing to do with. So then that creates hate in the heart. Oh, I'm mad at these people because of what their great-great-great-great-grandparents may have done to my great-great-great. And it's like, we keep this cycle going of hate and negativity. And so to break free, heal yourself, like, first you have to love yourself and know that that's the most important thing, truly, like, regardless of what anybody else thinks of you. Don't let anybody else define you. Define yourself. And then bring that energy to the world, you know, and treat other people the same way that you would want to be treated. It's like back to the basics of just like love, respect, integrity, honor, namaste. You know, my soul recognizes yours. And so it's deep. It's deeper than skin tone. And so does this concept of colorism exist in the world? If we allow it to, but we have so much power. So take your power back, empower yourself, and love one another. That's my message for today, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'm sending you love and power and healing into your life. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care of yourself.